My heartiest pranam to Thakur Mayan Swamiji and the Honorable Maharajas on the stage and to one and all present here. Independence is not about getting freedom, rather it is to become self-reliant, firstly. It's a strategy for the nation to achieve self-determination like an individual, which can only be possible when it's self-governed. Swamiji tried to emphasize that time and again. The freedom of the state is only complete when its citizens get the right to govern the affairs of their nation. Caste and politics are the two powerful factors that hinder the growth of a society. They were the two major negative influences on society in pre-independent India. Together, they had the power of the dividing people and conjuring them in the caste division which India was getting onto it. Divide and rule policy was protrude in the Indians by the Britishers, but the caste indiscipline which we had in our society was something to be caught for from day one. Hinduism during his time was home to social restrictions, taboos, and constraints imposed by classic divisions. These imposed restrictions where some sections of people created social inequality, where some people were considered inferior and others as superior. The meaning of freedom differed between every class of society. Swamiji once said that India will never get out of this slavery because it had been slaved from previous works. When kings used to rule India, the common people had no right to give their self-observations and self-respect. Corruption reigned supreme, and Vivekananda wanted to eradicate it from the source. He described corruption as a plague which stops a nation building from ability. He believed education was the way out of all these problems. He wanted people to be educated in the field of science, technology, social science, and economics. He believed along with these people need faith in God and being morally corruption-free. He also wanted everybody to learn the values of self-sacrifice honestly and selflessly. He called the youth to not work for the British, but instead for the social development of the country. The sentences from Upanishads, an equally thunderous voice, were arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Swamiji always influenced the youths to come forward and get hold of the country, which is going on to the backlogs. Only women power and youth can build India. And for that, he had to go to the Western countries and bring women because women of India were having backlogs. Surendranath Banerjee, a moderate leader from the Congress, wrote in Bengali that the history of country lies in the history of the great personalities of that country. Swami Vivekananda and Sri Ramakrishna are two cornerstones of an education contemporary India. He also defined Swamiji as a patriot. Another moderate leader, Sri Gopal Krishna Gokhale, uplifted as a personal goal. The revolutionary Subhash Chandra Bose was an admirer of Vivekananda's philosophies. We all know that. His Indian National Army were based on the philosophies of unity, sincerity, and compliance. Bose describes Swami as someone who always thought of others before himself and someone who had no mercy for the oppressors, but at the same time was as innocent as a child. Netaji said it, and I quote it here. Mahatma Gandhi was another nationalist who was influenced by Vivekananda. Gandhi famously addressed the poor as Harijans, inspired by Vivekananda's idea of calling the poor as Narayan. There's reflection of Swami's ideas in Gandhian policies. He famously said, I oppose any religion, doctrine that does not appeal to reason as in conflict with morality came from Vivekananda's idea about religious harmony and practice of Vedanta. The first Prime Minister, Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, was also an admirer of Vivekananda, and during the Indochina War in 1968, Nehru addressed the youth by quoting Vivekananda. He admired his spirit and energy, his ability to overcome any obstacle with wit and rationality. And his daughter and his successor as Prime Minister, Ms. Indira Gandhi, made Swamiji's birthday as National Youth Day. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, in his celebrated publication Maratha, called Vivekananda as the father of Indian freedom movement. On August 18, 1916, Sri Aurobindo wrote about him for the Commonwealth newspaper, which was run by Anne Besant. At that time, he called Vivekananda as a great prophet and preacher of modern Indian nationalism. His prelude to India's independence movement was compared to the mighty French Revolution by Rousseau and Karl Marx, who served as an inspiration to the Russian and China movement. It's high time to conclude my speech. But with the last and the least sentence of here, it is the youth of the country who can come forward. I have said that. And Swamiji, in one of his speeches, said that call upon the youths and tell them to rise. Why so? Because it's the blood which we need. It's the message, it's the power. The constituent rights of our life is not upheld if the youths are not ahead us. Power will come, glory will come, purity will come, goodness will come, and everything that is excellent will come only if the sleeping rises to that most and gets self-consciousness. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Anupurba, for delivering your such vibrating speech and analytical exposure on the stage. এখন স্বামীজির স্বপ্নের আলোকে স্বাধীনতার শতবর্ষ আমাদের আগামী 25 বছরের সম্মুখ প্রস্তুতি শীর্ষক বাংলা ভাষায় বক্তব্য রাখবার জন্য আহ্বান জানাচ্ছি সৌরভ সরকার, স্নাতক প্রথম বর্ষ বাংলা সাহিত্যে কল্যাণী বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে পাঠরত।